Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here. Their next flip lesson, and we're going to do some more mixture problems. We're going to do one chemistry problem and one nickel and dime problem, or coin problem, that is. This one will have nickels and dimes. But, we're going to be having a test here over Chapter 7 real soon. Make sure that you're staying up on all the material. All right. Let's see here. Sid Kaboom is trying to make some dynamite. His recipe calls for 300 milliliters of a 40% nitroglycerin mixture. Unfortunately, he has only 2 bottles of nitroglycerin. One bottle is a 65% mixture, and the other is a 30% mixture. He figures that if he mixes the correct amount of milliliters from each bottle, he should be able to make his dynamite. How many milliliters should he use from each bottle? Well, first of all, we're going to let X equal the milliliters of 65% mixture, and then Y is going to be the milliliters of 30% mixture. Okay. All right, my first equation is really easy because how much do I need from this bottle? Well, I need X, right? How much do I need from this bottle? I need Y. How many milliliters do I need altogether? 300. So my first equation is X plus Y equals 300. All right, now my next equation is even simpler than that. Once I have this, I'm actually going to take the same equation, but I'm going to multiply by the decimal of the percentage. So for X, it's 65%, so I'm going to put 0.65. For Y, it's 30%, so I'll put 0.30. And then here, I need to remember that I need 40%. So I'm going to do 0.40. Okay, now I like to right away turn that 40% of 300 into an actual number. And I know 10% of 300 is 30, right? Well, 40% is 4 times the amount, so that would be 4 30s or 120. So this right here turns into 120. Oops, just 120, sorry. All right, I think I'm going to solve for y in this one because I like to deal with 30%. It's easier than dealing with 65. So y is going to equal 300 minus x. All right, so I'm going to get 0.65x plus 0.30 times the quantity of 300 minus y. That's going to equal 120. All right, I'm going to distribute. And if I was paying attention before, I know 10% of 300 is 30. 30% of 300 must be 90, right? So I'm going to have 0.65x plus 90 minus 0.30. Y equals 120. All right. I've got some like terms here. Do you see them? Let's see. I'll highlight them for you. Do them in blue. I've got 0.65x and a negative. Uh-oh, I have a mistake. Yep, it's right there. Okay, let me catch that. Okay. Okay, it's a silly mistake. This should be an X right here. And when I multiply, I should get an X right there. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, that doesn't change that does change the fact I do have like terms. And so I'm going to combine those like terms. And I will have 0.35x plus 90 equals 120. I'll subtract 90 from each side. And I'll get 0.35x, and that'll equal 30. I'm going to divide by 0.35. Okay, and I'm going to use a calculator for that. Looks like it's going to come out to be 85.71, and that's a rounded answer, of course. My fraction is in the sevenths. I could tell by the display on my calculator. All right, so now to get y, I know I need 300 minus minus x. What's 85.71? I'll put some zeros in as placeholders, and I'll have to do some borrowing. So, let's see here. It's going to become a 2, and this is going to be 9, a 9, a 9, and then a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9, 9 minus 7 is 2, 9 minus 5 is 4, 9 minus 1, and that'll be 214 and 29 hundredths milliliters. So my answer is 85 and 71 hundredths milliliters of the 65% solution, and then 214 29 hundredths milliliters of the 30% solution. I don't know about you, but these problems are long, but they're not difficult. They just follow a pattern to them. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. Penny saves a lot, and it's just broken up in her piggy bank. She noticed she has a total of 90 coins, which are only in nickels and dimes. She's done counting the money. She has $7.05. Determine how many nickels and dimes she has. So I'm going to let n equal the number of nickels, and D is going to be the number of dimes. And notice I didn't put just nickels or dimes. I put the number of, because here I have a total number, don't I? My first equation is going to be n plus d, and that's going to equal 90. Now, very much like the last equation, it's a little bit different on the right-hand side, but I am going to take the value of a nickel, 0.05n. This will give me the money from the nickels. And the value of a dime, 0.10. That'll give me the money from the dimes. That's going to have to equal the total amount of money. Okay. I guess if you want to, I can do this one by elimination. I would do it by substitution, but we can do it by elimination. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by negative 0.10 and that by negative 0.10. And my new equation is going to end up being negative 0.10n minus 0.10d, and that'll equal a negative 9. And then I have the 0.05n plus 0.10d equal to $7.05. Oh, what the heck is going on there? Sorry. Okay. Now, obviously these are going to cancel out, right? And here I'm going to have negative 0.05n. Okay. And here, if I had 9 minus 7, that would be $2, right? If I took another nickel away from that, I'd be at $1.95. Now, the only difference is the 9 is negative and the 7 is positive, so I'm going to be at minus $1.95. And that's a good thing because I've got a negative over here, and when I divide by the negative, the two negatives will cancel each other out. All right, so n is going to equal, hold on one second, n is going to equal 39. I'm not in draw mode. There we go. N is going to be 39. So that means there are 39 nickels. Nickels. I'm going to rewrite that. There are 39 nickels. Now, if there's 90 coins total, 90 minus 40 would be 50, right? So 90 minus 39 would have to be one more, would have to be 51, right? Because I took one less away, so I have one more left. So then I could say 51 dimes. And there you go. All right, pretty simple problem, easy to check. you could multiply 0.05 times 39, and you could do 0.10 times 51, get those two values and add them together, and they should end up being, how much is it? $7.05 times 39 is $1.95. 0.95, and this is going to be 510, and then when I add together I get a 5, a 0, and a 7, and there we go, the 705, and that's just the check. All right, that's it for the lesson. Hopefully you're understanding the patterns of how to do these. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.